Hello again, everyone, and welcome to this segment of One-on-One. I'm Martin False. Very pleased to have as my guest today Mr. Eugene Thibodeaux, an architect who has worked on many projects in the area, in the state, all over the place for that matter. And today we're going to find out some of those projects and what got him started on his great career. So stick around. Right after the break, Mr. Eugene Thibodeaux. One-on-One is brought to you by the Law Office of Waits and Downer. Your children inherit abilities, and it seems like your children all pick professions that suit them well. And is it sort of, I guess, cool to see your children sort of go in directions that you and your wife sort of nurture them to go in and excel in those professions?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Each one of them excelled in that, and each one of them is contributing to the community. That's what I'm proud of, that they're giving back to the community, which we should all do, what you do every day for our community.
And that's important because the next generation that's
Right.
coming up, they got to have some kind of stability somewhere. So if you and your children don't supply that, and your son-in-laws don't supply it, it
That's
falls
right.
off the cliff somewhere.
It
doesn't
does, it does.
Yeah.
So I think the legacy that was created, I think will carry on.
No doubt. What did you enjoy most about your career?
Solving a problem, a major problem. I remember when I was in Pensacola, Florida, I designed the Palafox Hotel, which was a renovation. It had beautiful Tiffany ceilings. The only problem is that I had 1 month to get the papers out because during the Reagan administration they had cut the funding for renovated buildings. But that was the challenge for me, and I met the challenge. I did get the project out, and I love to save CO buildings. I love to keep them because they're more valuable than new buildings, and a lot of them are built better than new buildings. So I like to do that. I also like to fly, and I did get an opportunity while I was in Memphis because I was working for a large architectural firm to design the European operation for Federal Express in Newark, New Jersey. And in my design, I saved them over an hour's flight time, which is big money for that transportation industry. And I had to work with the arm, I had to work with the mechanical highway. I worked with engineers from Germany that their pen and ink drawings were better than my computer generated drawings. And it was that precise. So I enjoy solving problems for corporations, and the Lord has just given me that gift. And it's the Lord does everything. I'm not taking, and I'm looking forward to the rest of my life because I know that He's leading me, and if I follow His directions, then I know that things will be fine.
And that's great that you give the Lord a lot of credit, but like you said, you fought cancer.
I did.
What was that like?
Oh, I have to say we've got the best doctors in the world over here at Mary Bird Perkins. People ought to be proud in our community to see those doctors and nurses. And I had stage 4 cancer, and I had a doctor, an oncologist that took me in personally, I thought, because he's always, and they started me on chemo. They didn't know whether I was going to go on chemo or radiation or both, but they started me on chemo. And it seems to be working because I've had many PET scans, which is a wonderful machine which gets every inch of your body to see if you have cancer. And I've had 4 that have been successful where they have not spotted any cancer. So I'm looking forward to trying to keep it that way. And I know that as a cancer patient and as a tuberculosis patient, I'll always have the capabilities of having tuberculosis or cancer again. But we just need to move forward to the next day. But
You sort of treat them like a road bump. They're bigger than a road bump, but you just pop right over them.
well,
Was that always your mindset? Just go at it?
well, I didn't like to I didn't like to lose, and whenever I saw an obstacle, I tried to get help to remove that obstacle, and I think that's been my saving grace. I couldn't do all of this without my engineers. Every one of these buildings had at least a minimum of 4 engineers, and one of them had 12 engineers that I needed because of the complexity of the job. So when you have good assistants and you have good people working for you, you can overcome the bumps.
And there's always bumps, but it always takes that. I mean, like you say, you rely on structural engineers. You rely on
Mechanical engineers.
mechanical engineers. I mean,
electrical engineers.
I mean, most people don't realize what goes into a building, but it's pretty complex.
Pretty complex, yes.
But were you always one to pretty good at drawing, pretty good at doing schematics and things like that?
In fact, H.L. Bourgeois High School in the courthouse annex, I did a pen and ink drawing at that time because we didn't have any other method of doing it. And that's the presentation we used in order to obtain the project.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm.
Who was the toughest person you ever walked into a meeting with and you had to give a presentation or you had to convince somebody that one of these projects was the way to go, the way you drew it out, and you not dreaded, but it was a challenge sitting down for that person because you knew they were going to come back and challenge you?
There was a project in Alabama when I was working for Barrett, Daffin and Carlin, which was a 100-man architectural engineering firm. The first project they put me into was a competition with 5 of their best designers. And I won the competition. And in winning the competition, Barrett, Daffin and Carlin sent me to all of their individual offices. The one office that I went to in Birmingham in Alabama was the office that was shortlisted for the life science building at Auburn University. And the hardest thing I had was to design a preliminary in 3 days and get the presentation ready. And I was able to do that. And that was, I think, one of the hardest projects I've done.
As you look back, and as we start winding down the interview, and I want to thank you because you've done so much for the area. It would probably take a day to talk about all the projects. But as we wind this interview down, what's the project that you would put front and center on your mantle that would be the one that I did this?
I think the starting of the Key Clubs in Terrebonne Parish and all the good works that the Kiwanis Club has done for I would put that number one before any one of my projects, because this is service that individuals are given their time to make the community better. So I get more pride in doing that, and also doing churches, like I said, in Africa and India, that will help people come to Christ. So that's my objective, and I plan to do that for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I've heard you mention the Lord and Christ several times on this program, and we love that because we're a channel that accepts that, and one of the few, I must say, in the country. But when did that start becoming paramount in your life? When did you, or was it always there? Were you raised very religious?
Not, I think I saw the light when I was in Memphis, Tennessee. I had a real difficult time at one time, and this friend of mine, Spence Ray, gave me a Bible, and we had over there in Memphis, we had a non-denominational Bible every Wednesday where businessmen could go to and relax and get a good word from different preachers and priests. Mm-hmm. And I think I saw where other areas, and also had Bible study with Mr. Spence Ray. And in the Bible study, we had FedEx pilots, we had captains of industry over there, because Memphis is a hub for transportation. Mm-hmm. We had, and I saw people. You'd mentioned you were in awe in some of these people that you met. Mm-hmm. I was in awe of these people because they were so much higher than I was and had done so much more, and yet you see that they rely on Christ also. And I think that's what I'd love to see in Terrebonne Parish, is to have us have more Bible studies, more classes where we could bring all of this out. You know, Martin, there's over 2012 versions of the Bible, and when I read the 5 verses every day, I'm amazed that all 5 verses have the same thought. Then they're from different Bibles. Mm-hmm. So that's why I know that there's one Almighty that we need to observe and go to.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm.
As we wind down this interview, if I was able to just chat with, let's start with your son-in-laws. We'll start with all your son-in-laws. Diverse group, but a good group. And then your daughters. And then all those important in your life. Some that have passed, some still here. Architects, school board superintendent, hospital executive. And I got them all in one room. Governor Edwards. And I said, I want y'all to narrow down Mr. Eugene Thibodeaux in one word. Give me one word that would describe Mr. Eugene Thibodeaux. What's the one word you would hope they'd say?
Faith.
Faith.
You have to have faith. And once you have faith, the world is your oyster. You can do anything because you know that you have backers. You have more than human backers if you have faith.
And faith is broad. Faith in God, faith in your fellow workers, faith in people to accept your work as being pretty doggone good, faith in your children to know that you're putting them on the right path.
Correct.
No one's ever used the word faith, but it's pretty encompassing.
Thank you. Yeah.
I want to thank you for what you've done. I want to thank you for the efforts you put into this parish and all the parishes, all the counties, all the states you've been to. You've been a great asset to our parish, and we thank you for that.
And I thank you, Martin, for all the good works that you've done for Terrebonne Parish and also the area around here that you have helped.
Well, like you do with all your structural engineers and mechanical engineers and people that work for you, I got a great crew here, and they do a great job, so I thank them also. But thank you so much, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Martin.
All right, Mr. Dean.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm. This one-on-one program has been brought to you by the law offices of Waits and Downer.